this is a super cool delivery because when you combine standard plumbing supply, which means our furnaces, our air conditioners, with Christofferson Heating and Air, you get an entire HVAC system finished. Now, I have gone ahead and done as much of the trunk lines and lateral lines as I possibly can, and to the time frame that I had available to me, because when I called my HVAC guy, he was like, not you, sorry. But I called them because they are reputable and they are good at what they do. Christofferson Heating and Air has been doing my HVAC work on all of the builds we've done because, one, they get the job done very well and right. And two, they're willing to think outside the box and make it work to fit my kind of needs or architectural needs that we have. When we did our first house, it required some strange style ducting and other companies really squawked at me. And George came in and said, no, we'll make it work. We'll get it done. And not only did they do that, this is a cool story. A family member of theirs had passed away, and Mr. Christofferson passed away. And when family came into town, my family was out without heat for a couple days because of the funeral, but it was in the middle of December. So immediately, like the day after the funeral, all of the relatives of the family who knew how to do HVAC and just happened to be in town showed up at my house, got it put back together, and I had heat that night. That is a good company to me. And so they were first choice call for this house. There's no other company I want to work with than Standard Air for the supply of all my materials as well. That plenum is just about done. If you are not familiar with where we're at in the house, we are standing above my closet, Bonnie's closet, and the bathroom. And if you remember from the first HVAC video we did. Back there is the very first vent that we put in, and they all terminated to here. Now we thought we were going to Y them and then do a Y back there, but it was just a little easier to get these back here. And I have extra of this ducting that's not returnable, and it's only not returnable because I've already cut some sections off of it. So once they're opened, they're not returnable. So that is what it is. So I figured we'll just use that instead of buying 2 more parts. My HVAC guys, they built that junction box for me, just a 16 by 16 square, and then we cut all the holes in it, and now it's fed by this huge 14-inch line that goes clear over there. And we'll be able to tie this guy in. We'll just have to seal those up real quick with tape. All of this gray paint you're seeing all over the place, that's called, oh, what did they call it? Pookie? My HVAC guys call it Pookie. So it's pookied like crazy, so it's sealed. And then on top of that, this spray foam that's everywhere, when they come to spray the walls of the house, they're going to spray on top of this ducting as well. been working on the HVAC for a few weeks now, and then this week we were able to button up almost all of it with a crew. Now, the reason I had the crew come in is one, because I need help, and two, because there are certain stages of the HVAC work that I, as the homeowner or the general contractor or anything on this house, am not certified to do and am not capable of doing. And that is landing my furnaces. So follow me into the greatest room of the house. This is one of the two. This is our mechanical room. This is furnace number 1. This is furnace number 2. This furnace is supplying the upstairs floor. This furnace is supplying the main floor. And in the basement, there is a third furnace. Now, the third furnace doesn't really heat anything. It's capable of it, but it's not meant to. The radiant heat will do that. But since we have to have air conditioning down there, the smartest route is to put a furnace to let it be your air conditioning. And then if you need it as a furnace, it's capable. So we left that. But as you can see, these are our intakes coming in. One of the 3 up here intake on this trunk line. This is technically exhaust or supply line, and it is feeding. So it's coming up out of the furnace, comes out to the house, out into all of these outlets, and then it comes back, recirculates through over to here. Now it looks like those two are connected, but they're not. That's just how tight fit we had to make it for this one's return air. All of our lines are coming in and attaching to that ducting at some point. And that was a little brutal getting that together, but it's done. Now, the only thing that we don't have finished on this is our fresh air and exhaust lines that actually are where your CO2 and oxygen come into this machine so it can breathe. And this machine also, so it can breathe, comes through these holes right here. And those guys will come finish that up. But that is not going to really hinder our four-way in any way because that's accessible and it's not in the walls. So everything that we are trying to finish up right now for the four-way is pretty much done. So if you're thinking about doing some HVAC work on your own, I do recommend that you study it a little bit, look at what you can do, and see, you know, running a small line here and there is probably not a big deal, and you're capable of that if you want to try and cut costs on your own. But the other thing you have to keep in mind is that you do need somebody certified to put in your furnace. And when I went to purchase my furnaces and all that stuff, they told me, no way, I won't sell to you because you're not certified. And I had to explain the situation. My HVAC contractor had to actually call them and say, yes, he's picking them up for us and we will be installing them. And I'm glad they did because there's zero chance I could have made this look the way they did, made it work the way they did. I had no idea how this was going to come about, and now it's done. So this is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited to see us at this point. We are just days away from our four-way before we can start insulating and sheetrocking. So if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.